2024 is in the rearview mirror, and we're starting to get a sense of Portland and the state of Oregon's housing market. Real estate expert Rick Sadle with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealEstate.com is with us. Rick, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
All right. We know these housing reports are often a month behind, but now that we're into 2025, what are some of the recent numbers you're seeing for home prices, sales, and days on market across the state of Oregon?
Like you said, numbers can be a month behind, so we won't likely know all the numbers for December or even the entire last year for a couple more weeks. But the numbers for November tell a pretty clear story. Home prices in terms of the entire state are up about 2% versus last year, which is pretty much what we expected, right? In essence, it's pretty flat. The median sales price is just a little under $500,000, which is impressive. Days on market were about 45, so it's still pretty short, right, in terms of days on market. Now, the good news is the number of homes sold in Oregon for November were up 19% versus November of last year. In an election month, that's pretty surprising to have such strong net sales numbers. Now, I think that bodes well for Oregon's real estate market.
Aha. So let's take a peek at 2025 to the best of your ability. What do the numbers that you're seeing so far tell you what we're likely in store for buyers and sellers in 2025?
Well, but before we do that, let's look at 2024 a little bit. It was pretty much a Groundhog's Day to the prior year, right? Home prices, like we talked about, stayed the same. Number of sales were not that different, but they were up for November. Basically, it was just a repeat of 2023 minus November. And I think that's what we're expecting, for the beginning of this year a little bit. But I suspect we're going to see a much stronger 2025 than we had for the last year, with more sales and stronger appreciation. I think, appreciation is going to be 4 to 6% instead of the 2%. Which is what it should be. And also there's going to be more choices for buyers.
Interesting. How about the Fed, Rick? Expected to lower interest rates, but perhaps not as many times or by as much. What do you expect there, and what will that maybe do to the market itself?
Yeah, how about the Fed, right? Like, that's the big question. It's definitely going to be a factor, right? But we have to remember one thing, right? We got so used to 3 and 4% mortgage rates that's our frame of reference. The truth is, we never should have been that low. We should have been more in the fives or maybe even low sixes. But the good news is people are starting to get used to that 6 to 7% range nowadays. And if the Fed does drop the overnight lending rate, 2 times or 4 times or 10 times, no matter what, rates are going to go down a little bit. And so I think that's going to spur more buyers to jump back into the market this year.
Finally, how about the Portland Metro itself? Do you see that basically in the same situation as the rest of Oregon, or a slightly different scale?
No, obviously, Portland Metro is probably one of the most, the highest activity market in the state. But I'd say the predictions are pretty much the same as they are for the entire state, right? We're definitely going to see more sales in terms of number of homes sold. We're going to see more like a 4 to 6% appreciation range. I think it's going to be a more normal year, right? I believe the worst of the market shift is behind us, which is actually pretty good if you think about it. We went through a market shift and we didn't have prices go backwards this time. So I'd say all in all, we're in good shape.
All right. We are in good shape. Rick, thanks a lot for your perspective as always.
Yeah, thanks.
That's Rick Sadle, real estate expert with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealEstate.com.